Hello, everyone. Dylan Becker here with the George Moore Group at Premier Real Estate. I'm here today with Levi. He's with Oak Park Enterprises, the owner of Oak Park Enterprises. And if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about your background and what you all do.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Levi here. I was brought up here locally, born and raised in Foley, Minnesota. Graduated high school in 2022 and then continued some college education through St. Cloud Technical and Community College. Then after completing college, I started Oak Park Enterprise in 2024, kind of just trying to pursue the roofing industry as well as exterior businesses. And
yeah, I mean, he's been doing it most of his life, and he's a year in on his own, and he's got a lot of testimonials, a lot of feedback. I've always heard great things, and that's kind of why I threw him on here. Okay, so if you just had hail come through, you think there could be hail damage on your siding, roofs, etc. What's kind of the next steps you would want to see? What should a homeowner do? Should they contact you? Should they contact their insurance first thing? Where's their next step? Kind of guide them through that if possible.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say, this is, very educational for the homeowner side of things. As far as, after you get a hailstorm, chances are you more than likely have damage. So like what I would recommend is you contact, myself or another reputable local company and have us come out first and kind of assess the issue and then get the insurance involved afterwards, if there is applicable damage. And then what I would recommend always is to have that, your local trusted roofing company on site with the adjuster, just because there's a lot of insurance companies and a lot of adjusters that they kind of fly around the homeowners. And if you don't have an actual professional person there representing you, the insurance company might miss a lot of, potential damage, or, the whole entire scope might not be covered. So I think that'd be a really good idea.
Perfect. And then would you say more times than not, do you typically see a whole roof, or is it starting to head towards more of a getting partial replacements? What do you kind of see there, if you can touch base on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously it kind of varies depending on, whether it's State Farm or whoever your carrier is. Everyone kind of runs their scopes differently, but that is a, very concerning thing that I see very, very often is the insurance companies, they just look to replace, just part of the roof. Well, the whole roof seals and ties together. And so this, to do it correctly up to code, it's just to patch it all together is never really the correct answer. And I know just insurance companies are notorious for trying to just get a patch job out of it. So again, like just doubling down on just having somebody reputable and to stick up for you. Then usually, like myself, it's, you get it to a job and then the insurance company just wants to do a patch job. Well, that's not going to fly because, all the shingles are sealed together and merged together. So usually, you get a reputable company in there and then they'll fight for you and then you can get the whole entire roof replaced. So insurance companies are always trying to escape out on some of that.
How about for steel versus asphalt shingles, architectural shingles? Do you see a difference? Is it, a lot more common to see damage with a asphalt roof? Is there any benefit to the steel shingle, or not shingles, but steel roof?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously the steel's built a lot more durable than the asphalt and the fiberglass and some of the whatnot that the shingles are created out of. But as far as like the steel roofing goes, of course there's a price difference in that, and a steel roof's going to be a lot more expensive. But again, the longevity of a steel roof is, you can get a lot more years out of a steel roof compared to a shingle roof. So I would say longevity, it's a lot better of an outcome, but again, it does come with that price discrepancy. So
perfect. And then one last question, just on the steel roof anyway. Do you typically see any difference in a insurance payout or ability to work with the roof if it is a steel roof instead of an asphalt shingle or whatever type of other shingle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the steel, doing the full insurance scope on a steel roof is, it's getting to be harder and harder over the years, and the insurance companies really starting to crack down on some of that. I know, like, just as of recently, with all the past couple of years, all the hailstorms we've had in local Minnesota, they're kind of been switching it more towards like a cosmetic, like they'll just claim it as cosmetic versus like the shingles. It's obviously if they're damaged, they're damaged. They need to be replaced. But the steel, because it's a durable steel roof. They can have a few dings and it'll still function fine. But then they consider it a cosmetic damage when it should be replaced. But they've just been really cracking down a lot more on some of that.
All right. And then would you want to just touch base on prevention as well as kind of what are the issues that come from ice dam buildup and melting ice dams come in spring or whatever? So,
yeah, absolutely. If you don't get your ice dam taken care of with the snow buildup, and then eventually you will get actual ice to form. And then, like you mentioned, when the springtime rolls around and some of that ice starts to melt, what will happen is that water will actually seep up your shingles and then find nail holes or wherever, anywhere to enter your house that it can. And then that's when a lot of people see water damage in the springtime. It's just from the ice dams melting off.
all right. And then as far as removing ice dams, if you're going to have someone out there choosing who to hire, looking for someone, is there anything specific you should be looking for in that company or the process they use to remove the ice dams?
Yeah, absolutely. And I see it unfortunately pretty often, but there's, other companies that, claim that they do ice dam removal, and then they might show up with a chisel, and start chiseling on your roof, which is not a good case scenario. So if you are going to have a, local company come out and do some ice dam removal, I would just double check and ensure they make actual steaming machines that, spray hot steamed water, and that completely melts the ice dam versus busting them up. So there is a right and wrong way to go about that as well. So if you're going to be hiring a contractor to come out and do that, I would just ensure and double down and make sure they have the proper equipment.
All right, that's a wrap on our community spotlight with Levi from Oak Park Enterprises. Any roofing issues, questions, concerns, or jobs, feel free to reach out to him. He'll always be happy to talk.
Absolutely. Yeah. Feel free to reach out to me at 320-339-0046 or check out our website. Thank you. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, thank you.